I'll talk for just about 10 minutes, and then we have a panel of recent graduates and new attendings who are going to give a Q&A session. So one of the things that's been talked a bit about are what tools and strategies are out there for the job search, but we haven't had as much focus on some of the technology tools and perspective of someone who's just gone through the process. So that's kind of what I'm trying to round the afternoon out with for the next 10 minutes or so. My name is Richard Sharpe. I'm the chair of the RSNA Residence and Fellows Committee, and I did residency at Thomas Jefferson in Philadelphia. I did breast imaging fellowship at Beth Israel Deaconess in Boston, and I'm a breast radiologist with Kaiser Permanente in Denver, Colorado. So I don't have any disclosures, for better or worse. We'll start with a question. So you have these audience response systems. We'll go ahead and let you grab that. And the question is, the best resources for finding a radiology job is/are, and you can pick as many as apply. So which of them do you fancy? We'll give you the next 10 seconds to identify them. Okay, so by and large, people value personal referrals, word of mouth. That's something Dr. Muroff mentioned is a fantastic way to go about finding jobs. And then half to a quarter looking at fellowship director, chairman, current employer, also fantastic resources available. Online job databases and cold calls to potential employers. So that's all sounds very reasonable. We'll talk a little bit more about this. So big picture, what is the goal for this session? And that is to provide resources, insights, strategies to increase the probabilities of success for you finding a job in radiology that's a good fit for you. So which strategies are essential for a successful career search? And this is a time when you really need multiple simultaneous strategies. But we're going to talk about so this is actually not audience response, sorry. So this is just a header slide. So we'll talk about the basics, overview slide of career search, and then effectively how to leverage relevant online career databases, how to utilize the strength of your current network, but then also how to enhance that. And then finally some encouragement about not being shy. In other words, many benefits can arise from you, quote, putting yourself out there in the job search. So we'll start with basics of career search. What is it that I need to job search? So number one, and this was referenced a few times, is having a polished CV and a cover letter. Have them ready to go. Have them updated. When you need it, you want to be able to send it or print it. You don't want to have to create it. So always keep it posted. Unexpected opportunities can arise at any point, and you want to be available. A recent article Dr. Flug wrote, who's going to be joining the panel in just a few minutes, is available on diagnosticimaging.com, entitled Things I Wish I Learned During Radiology Residency, and goes through some of the pointers about creating that CV and cover letter, so I definitely recommend that. What else do you need? I think you really need introspection. You have to develop an awareness for in which type of job would you be happy. And I think a lot of the career search starts off as, what are the jobs available? How can I go and interview and explore those jobs? And that's good, but most people, partway through the process, I think you reach a tipping point where you realize, gosh, the hard part is figuring out what's the best job for me, for my preferences, my interests, for my family, and all of these questions. So trying to understand that. And that was the goal of our first session, and some of the second session is to give you some of the nuances to start doing that introspection. The other thing is start early. So many of you probably responded to the survey we sent before this. Thank you so much for all the valuable questions. And one of the key questions is, when do I start? I think about 50 people wrote that. They want to know when to start. And we'll have the panel come up in just a few minutes and give their take. But I think the answer is early and often. So you'd never know. Towards the end of residency, probably a good time to sign up for some career emails, for some job postings to be sent to you. And then you can start to understand the market. That takes months to know what's even out there. So definitely towards the end of residency. I think midway through fourth year of residency would be a great time to start doing it, if not even earlier. And then also, what do you need for a job search? You need to have some confidence. So if you don't have the confidence that you're going to be a good candidate for this job, people aren't going to respond favorably. Moving on to the second overall objective, effectively leveraging relevant online career databases. This is something, I talk to people a lot about. Several people that are coming on the panel, we talk a lot about. So, let's ask the question for the audience. I've logged into both the RSNA and ACR career search websites, and we'll give you just a minute. I'm curious about how many people have checked these out. 5 more seconds. Okay, about half of you. That's great. Opportunity for the other half. And so let's talk a little bit about how you do this. In fact, I'm kind of glad that we're catching you before you're doing it. So first, sign up for the general radiology job databases. There are 2 huge job databases, the RSNA Career Connect and the ACR Career Center. These are the URLs. You can just Google ACR, RSNA, and jobs and go to them. What you want to do is create a profile and have it start emailing you daily when jobs become available. That also will be very encouraging towards the end of residency to know the rumors about no jobs existing are not the case. I'm getting emails all the time of jobs. Smaller sites but potentially useful would be RadWorking. I didn't mention in the slide, but Aunt Minnie also has job postings. I get fewer from them, but these are kind of big ones. Expect these sites to have much more exposure, have more jobs available, and some more robust searching and auto-updating. But the breadth of jobs is also quite wide. So this is an example of the RSNA's version, Career Connect, and you can sign up to have emails, or you can look at them on the database, and you see here is a unique and rare radiologist opportunity, which could be fantastic or terrible, but nonetheless it's available. And then you have breast imaging specialists, neuroradiologists, so lots of different jobs available. And more than just unique and rare, you get details provided when you click read more. So definitely sign up for these. After you sign up for some general radiology search engines, look for your specialty specific. So you've already started to understand the market a little bit, partway through 4th year of residency. You know what fellowship you're doing. So I was a breast imager, am a breast imager. Society for Breast Imaging has a career center. They send postings all the time. Society for Interventional Radiology has career headquarters. Neuroradiology has a classifieds, they call them. Society for Skeletal Radiology, they call it job opportunities. Go to your specialty sites. Go to the societies that are sending out the journals for your specialty. Review their websites. I'm sure they have job postings available. And those will be less wide in the breadth and a little bit more focused, presumably, on the things that matter most to you. Then there's a little nuance. So almost every day or two, someone emails me or calls me and is talking about the job search, and they tell me that they signed up for all of the breast imaging jobs, and they get that email. And I say, that's okay, but not what I'd recommend. So I'll tell you that I did that initially, and there were tons of postings that came through, whereas the person who created the ad clicked women's imager, or they clicked general radiologist as the specialty, and then when you read the ad, it says, I want someone to do nearly 100% breast imaging. But because I had marked breast imaging on the career database, and they had marked general radiologist, or they had marked woman's imager, I wasn't getting pushed those jobs. So I tell people, just leave the subspecialty fields blank. There's a lot of overlap, and plenty of will say, general radiologist 20%, neuroradiologist 80%, but then check general radiologist. And you probably want to be able to look at those. Plus, how can you understand the types of opportunities that might come your way in your specialty if you're not seeing a few others in different subspecialties within the radiology? So I think that's good advice. When should I respond to job postings? Some of the questions we received said that people only posted them at the end of the search. I've not found that to be the case. I really believe that people start off with these online databases. So many employers will keep that ad until they get about 50, is what a number of employers have told me. I guess that's a good number. So what does that mean? Well, you probably want to respond right away, hence the point about having CV and cover letter all ready to go, because you want to get that back to them within 2 or 5 days of the posting. So again, on the sites, click the box for them to email you updates, and that way you get the update that moment, not next week when you check the website again. So you get the updates, and then you reply to them with the CV that's already there. That's huge. I know some of the panelists earlier emphasized that networking was a way to find jobs that would not make it to the online database. I think, based on everything I've seen, most people start here, and maybe this will lead to some networking outside of it, but I doubt that the majority of jobs people take come from these unposted jobs. Remember, it's in every employer's interest to put this up there and have a national pool of people responding to their advertisement. You get hundreds of people responding who are outstanding rather than just the people, on the block or something, in your neighborhood. It was not good for the long interest of these firms. So rely on these, but also leverage your network. Hence the next point. Utilize the strength of your current network and enhance it. So how do you utilize your network? My perception is from talking with people, lots of people don't like to make special requests or ask favors or put themselves out there, but this is really a very helpful strategy to do in the job market. So meet with your close contacts, talk with them, ask them the questions that interest you, ask them about opportunities they know about, get to know them as people, understand them, ask them who they recommend you contact, and then also ask them if they're willing to contact people for you. I don't know, I've probably helped 50, 60 people in the job search in just the last year alone, and no one has ever said that their contacts weren't willing to help them out or make a phone call or go out of their way for them. So the challenge, though, is getting over the activation energy to ask that favor of them in many cases. Follow-up emails with the polished CV and cover letter, and also use a spreadsheet to track contacts, emails, and discussions. This is a huge point. I got phone calls at 9 o'clock at night, and they said, 3 weeks ago you responded to our ad, and we want to know, if this is a good position for you. And you're like, well, what position are you calling about? What was the job description? That's a very challenging situation then to ask them. But if you have a spreadsheet available or some notes, you can quickly look and see what the ad was posted. It sounds so trivial, but these ads get deleted as they start reviewing the application. So if you don't retain a copy of it or a spreadsheet, then you're going to have to ask them again what job you applied for. And that's probably on Dr. Lex's list of don'ts. How to enhance your network. So expand what it is you perceive to be your network is the key thing, even if you don't know people well. So reach towards past graduates, people you worked with early in residency. I definitely did that. You get a lot of good information from it. They've just gone through this experience too. So think of them. Radiologists in the area where you did your residency or in the area you want to work, reach out to them, get to know them, meet them at RSNA, things like that. And, Greg was just here talking, he's a financial planner, but also device reps, attorneys. I know people that have actually gotten their job by just talking to a personal attorney or a malpractice attorney in an area that knows the head of a group that happened to be hiring. So think of these people all around you as you're enhancing your network. Leverage these things, tidy them up a bit, be appropriate, but consider social media as a great way to meet people. You can cold call groups, definitely. Don't be nervous about doing it. Start at the top, head of recruiting, subspecialty division chief, group president, express your interest, follow up. Every couple of weeks, you don't want to be the creepy stalker every day or two, but certainly every week or two is reasonable as you get to know these people. Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook and creator, says, biggest risk is not taking any risk. In a world that's changing really quickly, the only strategy that's guaranteed to fail is not taking risks. So encouraging you to put yourself out there, take risks, and realize that, contact people and ask questions that will help you with your search. Hype yourself up, otherwise no one else will, I promise. Refine your skills by interviewing. There's some question, do you want to go on an interview you don't like? In fact, earlier today it was said that you probably don't want to do that, but for the most part it's hard to know without an interview whether you don't like something. I would say unless you have red flags saying this isn't a good fit, go on the interview, explore the opportunity. You might be surprised with what you find. If nothing else, you improve your interview skills. So here's my message, or my email if anyone has any questions. So thank you so much.